It's been a wild year in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with TV shows like WandaVision, Loki, and What If paving the way for the multiverse to crack reality wide open in Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Although the intention is to introduce alternate versions of classic heroes and villains, there are tragic stories at the heart of these grand adventures, and the Doctor Strange sequel is no different. The film sees a Scarlet Witch struggling to cope after losing her children in WandaVision, and desperately wanting to find another universe where she can be with them. In doing so, she dabbles in dark magic while hunting the superpowered America Chavez, who has the ability to punch her way between universes. Thankfully, the young hero has Doctor Strange to protect her, and their journey across the multiverse takes them to some wildly different universes. Although most of their time is spent on Earth 838, which is where they meet Professor X, the rest of the Illuminati, and a variant of Christine Palmer, they first stumble through several other realities, each with its own unique visual style, including a prehistoric world, an underwater universe, and even one where they're made entirely of paint. But the scene also hides a surprisingly blink-and-you'll-miss-it Spider-Man Easter egg. Although Strange briefly name-drops Spider-Man when discussing his experience with the multiverse, the film doesn't really address the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. No, don't worry, you didn't miss a sneaky cameo from Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, or Andrew Garfield. Instead, there's a surprising Easter egg in a sleek, futuristic universe that shows up midway through that psychedelic leap through alternate realities. It's not exactly clear where they are within that version of Earth, but it looks highly advanced, almost to the point where it has an industrial feel to it. On the left-hand side of the screen, a drone flies past the two multiversal travelers, and it has the exact same design as the Stark Industries drones used by Peter Parker and Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home. The drones play a key part in Spidey's MCU story because after Tony Stark's death, he passes Peter the keys to artificial intelligence called Edith, which also grants him access to satellite weapons and an army of drones. And although Peter had learned to become a more responsible hero since Spider-Man Homecoming, and even becomes an Avenger in Avengers Infinity War, Tony clearly wasn't thinking when he decided to give a teenager that sort of power. Anyway, these drones ultimately cause chaos and destruction at the hands of Mysterio, even killing Mysterio himself. As we all know, the villain posthumously leaks Peter's identity to the world while blaming him for his death. So it's a little surprising that one of the universes shows a drone flying around a futuristic world. What does it all mean? We will try not to get too excited here, but a Spider-Man Easter egg in a futuristic setting instantly makes us think of Spider-Man 2099. As you may have guessed, his story is set at the end of the century, long after the Avengers of old have all died or disappeared and New York has become a dystopian nightmare. That wouldn't look out of place in Blade Runner. Built on the ruins of the old city, the bustling metropolis is called New York, and it is home to an incredibly powerful sinister organization called Alchemax. Miguel O'Hara, a geneticist working at the company, winds up having his genes rewritten with a spider's DNA by accident, and quickly suits up as Spider-Man 2099 to fight the injustices committed by his own employer. Now, the reference in Multiverse of Madness probably means nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's just an inventive look at another universe that uses familiar imagery for fans to recognize, but it would be very, very cool to see Spider-Man 2099 in live action. Thankfully, the futuristic web-slinger is already heading to the big screen in 2023's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Oscar Isaac is reprising the role after voicing him in the post-credit scene of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But this sequence is another reason why Multiverse of Madness is so refreshing. It allows Marvel to really get creative with its visuals and its storytelling, rather than sticking to its often generic-looking action scenes. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos about the Marvel Cinematic Universe are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.